8, and it only means one thing. It's the Man United agenda. Greetings, everybody. The Man United agenda. My name is OMONDI Juma. I'm hosting tonight instead of Errol. I want you to vote for who's the best host, me or Errol, at the end of the show, please, guys. I'm gonna do my best to compete with our boss man, you know, while he's not here. Okay. I've got some wonderful guests sitting to my left. This hand is the wonderful Mr. T. I mean, sorry, Mr. B. Mr. B. Mr. B, how are you doing, man? You have a nice bank holiday weekend, and the result yesterday, you must be feeling sweet, man. Everyone wants to know. How's your mood?
It's nice. I don't care that we only beat Brentford. I understand, and all of that stuff that I moaned about yesterday, waking up this morning knowing that we weren't going to be part of all of the bants and all of the jokes. It was a nice feeling. It makes a change, boy. It makes a change, boy.
You know what, Mr. B, I've heard that like you're surrounded by Arsenal fans at your football club, at your job, you know, every day. So it's important to you that Man United win, isn't it? It's extra stressful.
It's so important that we win. But you know, this season my skin has become really thick, and I've become very, 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 very tolerant, especially being on this channel. So
yeah,
next season I hope this is the worst. I hope this is the worst, and now we're going to be back on that whole, you know, we can be giving them people the bird that side, them people, instead of us getting all the shit dumped on our head. You know what I mean?
Now, Rebel, how you doing, man? I'm going to ask you the same question. I mean, it's bank holiday weekend. I don't know if it's the same over in Ireland, but we've obviously had the May Day weekend. At the end of the month, we've got the Queen's birthday as well as another bank holiday weekend. How did you spend yours?
Well, I'd first of all like to say good evening to all our Liverpool fans. But there's a beautiful picture here just above my screen, and that is Villarreal 1, Liverpool 0, 32 minutes gone. So if this progresses the way it's going to, I'm hoping it progresses, hashtag quad pool could be buried next to Man United season.
You know what, Rebel, I was going to ask you. I mean, I was giving I know what happens to Mr. B in London, but what do you get any grief for being a Man United fan where you're from? And
well,
Liverpool fan.
What we got over here is we're predominantly GAA first, and then the football takes place and the rugby after that. So where we give our real grief is, I don't know if you noticed when our friend from Dublin was on, I was giving him a bit of shtick over the GAA. Like, that's where our level of banter really hits home. Whereas with the football, we do hit each other, we do snipe each other, but if we beat you in the GAA, regardless of how bad my team, aka Man United, does in the football, it doesn't matter because we are still lording the kitchen on them.
Can you explain to the people at home what GAA is?
GAA would be the Gaelic Athletic Association. It is responsible for the management of Gaelic football and hurling, and we also have the lady sports of Camogie, and they also play Gaelic football. And essentially, we've been playing this for over 100-something years. I won't bring down the history because there was certain events with a certain country that are deeply rooted in the history and ethos of Ireland when it comes to GAA. But it's the sport that we're very, very passionate about. And actually, my colleagues over in London, you actually do have a GAA team yourselves that does compete in the football series. So all the expats that are over in the UK do still participate and have the opportunity to participate in the championship, aka what we would know in soccer terms or football terms, depending on where you're sitting, is the Champions League of our sport.
Wow. So would the World Series just be based in Ireland, for example, like American football? is like Super Bowl, which is no other nations could participate. Is it just that is the World Series? Just it happens in Ireland.
Interestingly, though, it has actually expanded. We have teams from New York. We have the team from London. Obviously, we've had blitzes where teams have come up from Sydney, Malaysia. We've had a few African teams. So there are people that do participate in the sport, and like we even saw Mr. Usain Bolt, who is obviously a big Manchester United fan, in a Kerry jersey, which is where I'm from.
Okay. Mr. B, is a question thrown out to you. I'm going to the comments in a second now. I want to welcome Bath Time with Vaughan. How you doing? He's asking, Mr. B, what's your thoughts on the Irish World Series? Exactly. Before we get into the show, because we've got a lot to talk about tonight, I just want to go into the comments and say, big up TalkMU. I hope you're doing well, man. And Mr. B, yeah, naturally, you're in the house. And Reb, oh gosh, say Kunle is around as well. Rush Mano, how are you? I hope you're in a good mood after yesterday's result. Septa as well, he says, hi guys. We've got Eddie Football Waffle. How you doing, Eddie? Big up, man, big up. Just by the way, yeah, like just to reiterate, Villarreal are winning, so it's 1-0. And Rush is saying, come on. I want to say hi to Matthew Bassett. How are you, Matthew, man? Hope you're doing well. Anthony, I was going to say Anthony Francis, one of my mates. Andy Herbert, you're also one of my mates, all the way from Bristol, Arsenal fan. Yes, we know the result is coming through loud and clear now. Yes, Paddy, how you doing, man? Good evening. Hope you're well, sir. And anyone else in the house? Of course, yeah, the one and only Bath Time with Vaughan. Obviously, he's asking some funny questions about the Irish World Series. I'm sure you got an answer there. And he's saying here, I saw a crazy thing the other day where we never actually played in the yellow and gold. It was the red and white, and Umbro changed things for the shirt sales. Is that?
I just also like to extend an invite to Mr. B. He's more than welcome to come onto a GA pitch with me anytime he wants, and we'll show him what's up.
I'll tell you what. I'll drink the Guinness on the side of the pitch, and I'll watch you do whatever you need to do, bro. I have no problem. I will not be. I've seen that sport. There ain't no way on God's green earth. No way.
I'll tell you something, guys, because we're still in the intro. When I was younger, there was an Irish girl I used to date, one of my friends, and this is when we just started driving, so I must be about 17 years old, and she used to play camogie. She's only fresh from Ireland, been over here a few years. Her dad managed the pub, and it's the first. I was like, "What the hell is this?" I had no idea. And all these female Irish girls running around and tough as nails, real tough as nails. And it's the first time I ever experienced it. But there is local to me in Northwest London. There is a club where they play all that. But I just had no idea that sport existed, and it's going on for 100 years. So it's great. It's great stuff. I still don't understand the rules, but I do like to watch camogie, if you know what I mean. Anyway, let's move on to the first subject. And yes, I know it's going to be a great talking point for people in the comments, because I've noticed on Twitter all day, and people got an opinion on this. So we at the Man United Agenda decided to drag this one up and talk about it. So we all know Jesse Lingard. I mean, he's been at the club for 20 years. And after the game yesterday, which was last home game, and obviously we spoke about Mata, his last game. We spoke about Matic as well. They were playing during the game. Unfortunately, Lingard didn't play. So the brother of Lingard has come out, and I'm going to read out this statement for those of you who can't read. It says, 20 years of blood. This is from the brother. 20 years of blood, sweat, and tears. 4 domestic trophies, 3 FA Cup, 3 cup final goals. But these are minor trophies, not major trophies, by the way. Not even a farewell. No wonder it's a Conference League next year. Oh, that's a diss at Manchester United, isn't it? Attacking players for celebrations, talking about his moonwalk and all that thing. When the club are being sold to the Super League. Okay. Very sarcastic, this guy. Class of 92, Busby Babes. That's what we're known for. You're run by people who don't even know the offside trap. Classless. And the fans need to realise this. Good night, God bless, and ta-ra, 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 that kind of thing. Really, digging in the daggers, he's really upset. And then he says, been here since 9 years of age.
Yes! Sorry.
Are you okay?
It's too old.
Okay. Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much for the update.
You frightened the shit out of me.
Yeah. Oh God.
Sorry.
I thought I was on mute. Sorry, I'm on the.
Jesus Christ. It's like you should be in a horror movie or something with that sort of
Jesus Christ, sorry.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm playing it cool, but like, yeah, I did, almost. And he says, "Well done, bro, and your family are proud of you." So, what family wouldn't be proud of a professional footballer making it at Man United? Obviously, he went on loan for a number of years, but he's come through the ranks. They had a good youth team. He came up through with Pogba, but these comments by the brother. All right, there's so many questions about this. I mean, my first thing that comes to mind, I'm going to start with this now. Let's, I know you guys have all read this now, but let me start with this. I'm just going to say this. There's lots of conversations going on. I like Jesse Lingard, thought he's a good player, definitely Premiership standard, but not world-class, not world-beater in my opinion. Should be proud of himself. He's had a good career. He's 30 years old now, 29, 30, and I think he's got many more years to go at the top level. The only thing for me is, like, as a working class man like myself, I've seen over the last few years, and for a long time now, I grew up with the miners' strike and other big things like that. People get laid off a lot, and no one gives a ass about them. I've had a lot of friends who've been laid off, lost their jobs over the recent years, and no one's coming out and crying or putting out statements, that kind of thing. You just got to get on with it. And what I've read in just getting a feel for this is not my own opinion, but you're a rich footballer. You've made a lot of money out of the sport. And if you're talking about you get clapped, you get applauded, I'm sure fans give you abuse, but when they see you face to face, if I met Jesse, I'll be like, "Oh, Jesse, well done, big up, what I do, give him a fist." So you get love. You would get love, I'm sure of it. No one's going to abuse you to your face unless it's in a group, that kind of thing. And people are proud of you. You can go anywhere and people recognize you up and down the country. So sometimes you got to say, is it really worth when you said to your brother, don't even think about it, Don't put that out, especially when working class people are going through a lot of doo-doo at the moment in the last couple of years. That's just my feeling on it. I just think that's a bad move by them, and it's going to get the backlash. What I've seen, I've been reading a lot of really serious statements, people saying about, oh, he had a West Ham shirt on and all this kind of thing recently. So that's my take on it. I understand it, but I just think the timing is a bit classist because the way he was having digs at the club as well. And I'm just thinking back now, did he win a Premiership in 2013? I'm not sure if he was on loan or not, but I said minor trophies is only one. We've had one of the worst periods in our time. So everybody should feel shame who's played for Man United with the expectations we've had over the last few years. So Lingardgate, I'm going to start with you, Mr. B. You've heard the statement. I mean, just let me have it. Just let it out, man. Let it out. Just tell us how you feel.
First things first, I won't tell it exactly how I feel because Solo will be finding me. So I think he is ungrateful for a start. He wanted to leave in January. What did he stay for? I said at the beginning of the season that Ollie was a good liar. He obviously convinced Jesse that he was going to stay. He had the opportunity to leave in January. Why didn't he leave? Was it to do with money? Maybe. Was it to do with the fact that West Ham probably didn't want to pay whatever he thought he was worth with 6 months left? I have no time. Yeah, I understand he's been there 20 years and blah, blah, blah. What his brother didn't say was that Jesse didn't train a couple of days last week. So is Ranić then going to play an unfit player to give him a farewell? No pressure. The whole team's done 3-0 and you want to moonwalk in front of your brethren on the pitch in your shorts and socks instead of your club tracksuit. Let the man can go and piss off, man. I don't have time for the bullshit. Honestly, I don't. He had already pissed me off from when his brother posted that picture of him in the West Ham shirt and he was talking about being locked up and he knew how Akon felt. Well, now, good, go on. Go West Ham now. Go West Ham. No time for Jesse at all.
Can I quickly ask before I go on to Rebel? Do you think Jesse would have known about this statement? And since it's come out, have you heard anything to him to sort of say, that's not true, or he didn't say, he didn't endorse his brother to say that? I haven't heard anything about that. Have you, Mr. B?
I thought you said Rebel. No, I said I haven't heard him say. There's been nothing that comes out I mean, look, Omondi, you and your brother are tight. Me and my brother are tight. I'm going to tell him something, but what I don't expect him to do, and this is what I don't understand about these football's brothers who are just the talentless one of the family or the one with the least amount of talent. Same thing with Zuma. Why are you posting a picture of your brother kicking a cat, bruv? I mean, what sense does that make? You understand? So he's not using his head. All right, Jesse's leaving. Fine. You know what? Write it in your memoirs in 15 years about how you felt. Don't do it. You still got 2 games to play at the club. You still got 2 games to play. Everybody's talking like this. All right, our season's finished, but the season physically hasn't finished. So then what happens now in the next game? You know, and then what he also has to remember as well, sorry for rambling on.
No, we want to hear you.
Didn't he say to Paul Scholes, and Paul Scholes came out with his big mouth that he's chewing his daughter's toenails with, that Jesse said to him, the dressing room's a mess, and I'm sure he wouldn't mind me saying it. Well, guess what? He probably did mind you saying it. And the fact that Paul Scholes opened his mouth probably dropped him further down Ralph's pecking order. So there's reasons, probably big reasons why he didn't play.
Interesting that. Rebel, I mean, I hate to go to you last because obviously you have to pick up the pieces. Stuff has already been said, but obviously you must have an opinion on this. And if you had a brother, what would you say to your brother? Would you be slapping him up right now? Do you think it's damaging to his reputation? Or was his reputation soiled already? I mean, what are your feelings about the whole thing, Rebel?
Well, it looks kind of like the situation that Mr. Nixon found himself in when he was caught with his trousers down and his secret tapes were found, and he was saying, "I am not a crook." Essentially, my viewpoint in this is keep out of my damn business, because Lingard was absolutely done a disservice by his brother coming in and wading in on this matter, because Lingard has to find himself a new club. And they're going to now be looking at, well, what if we decide not to play Lingard this week due to A, B, and C? Is his brother going to start coming out and going, blah, he done this, he done that? Like, it's devaluing Lingard, and it's bringing a off-pitch circus around him. And again, like Mr. B alluded to, when Zuma's brother posted the picture of him fronting the cat up into the air, it did absolutely no serve. It shouldn't have happened in the first place, no, but that's beside the point. Posting it was a second scene, and it brought a circus around the player. So for me, it's absolutely intolerable to say that Lingard's brother came out and said, but why didn't he get a chance to come onto the pitch and wave his goodbyes and say good luck to all the fans because wah, wah, wah. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not putting up with that, because at the end of the day, Ranick's job, number one, first and foremost, was to win that game last night. He decided to put on 3 subs. One, he needed to because Matic had to be substituted in order to keep the freshness in the centre of midfield. He'd done his job. Then there was an opportunity for Cavani to come on later on, and who else did we bring on? I'm trying to remember the third sub.
Fred.
It was Jones. Fred came on for Mata, and then Jones came on to show up the defence. So there was an opportunity to give one player a goodbye in front of Old Trafford, and that was Cavani. Mata and Matic were starting, and they were there on the merit of how Ranić felt that he needed to set up. It wasn't just so Mata could say goodbye to the Old Trafford crowd. He was put out there because he was starting. And Lingard's brother was rather disingenuous to the situation. And frankly, for me, if I was looking at him as a manager, thinking before I saw that like yesterday, it would have turned me off the player, because you do not need this circus.
Well put. Guys, I'm going to go straight to the comments, because I want to hear what everyone else has to say about this. It's really important, because just to get a feel, because there's a lot of stuff I wouldn't know about, but I just think it's really bizarre. Bath Time saying, can't wait to hear people's views on this. So here we go. Matthew Bassett said, Lingard, great servant to the club, and I commend him for all he's done for us, but he should have moved on last season. Bath Time saying, there's no question Lingard was more deserving of a cameo than Cavani, but you have to think St. Ralph turned it down. Okay, interesting that one. Bath fans also saying he was held against his will, basically, and in retrospect, I think it was a bad move not to give him the send-off. Okay, see, you get some balance here in the comments. MUFC says Jesse Lingard wanted to leave in January without a farewell goodbye. Why is he moaning now? Good point. Bath time again says obviously asked Ranierick and saw Cavani get a run out instead. I think it's really poor from Ralph. So fingers being pointed at Ralph from Bath time. MUFC said Jesse Lingard beans video killed his career. He still gets trolled for it. What's the bean video? I don't know. Maybe someone could. Anyone know what that bean video is? I can't hear you. Yeah.
Yes. He was on holiday and he was singing something about beans, and it was a very 12-year-old video, but obviously he wasn't 12 years old making it. It wasn't.
What beans good for your heart? The more you eat them, the more you.
No, it was just no. No one wanted you.
That's the only one I know. Yeah.
No one wanted you, man.
But you remember that's beans. Yeah.
I know that one, but that wasn't what he was singing.
Okay. Anyway, let's move on. So Bath fans saying if we don't treat our players like fans, if we don't treat our players and fans like family, we're not Manchester United. That's a good point. 100% Amondi says TalkMU. Ridiculous statement from Lingard's brother, says MUFC. He needed a few days off because he didn't want to join Newcastle. He needed a few days off because he didn't want to join Newcastle.
He didn't get to join.
Yeah.
Remember he didn't join. Okay. He didn't join. Okay, of course. Was that for the reason because of Greenwood? Because Greenwood was out of action. Is that why he stayed?
And we loaned out Diallo at that point as well.
Okay, fair enough. I'm just asking. I really didn't know. Bath fans say Lingard won us the only trophy we've had since Fergie left. Sorry. Matthew Bassett saying the fans aren't happy with Pogba's people, i.e. agent brother, saying rubbish about the club, but Jesse seems to think it's okay. It's disrespectful to Man United and the fans. I would say it's not okay. Paddy's saying he should have come back from West Ham with huge ego. He shouldn't have come back from West Ham with huge ego. He did think he was returning back to be confirmed as in the first team place. Rushmano saying, I'm worried that Lingard's behaviour will rub off on Rashford. They are best buddies. Okay, there's a little click going on there. MUFC said Jesse Lingard is finished at Manchester United. That was his funeral, probably. Septar saying he makes it sound like he does us a favour by playing and scoring. He's been a good servant, but he's been appreciated. But he's been appreciated and paid well for a mediocre player. Ooh. This is like, you the script writing for the brother. This is mean, and it's not like he's being a slave here. Wow. Eddie saying it's really hard to see this. It's really sad to see this. Sorry, the culture of the players being disrespected by bosses at the club, and then players doing the same has to stop. Bailey has had some beef too. Pogba beef and others. A lot of beef going around. MUFC said Jesse Lingard, the whistleblower. Woo. Is it? It's all coming out now, isn't it? Bath fans saying I absolutely go spare if my brother had won trophies during the 20-year spell at the club, and interim manager wouldn't let him have the send off he wanted on his last home game. It's good balance. This I like this. Rebel, they're loving your Nixon impersonation. And this is from Eddie, who does a really good Ralph impersonation. If you haven't seen that, guys, you should check it out. Paddy's saying Jesse, unfortunately, was a player who left the club a few years ago, insignificant. Manny MUFC says we will end up in the championship with Lingard if we keep Lingard and Rashford. Wow, maybe it's the two of them then. Bad apples. Sorry, Saki. Am I getting this right? So Liverpool being spanked in Spain. Oh God. Okay. All right, we'll leave it as that for now. But yeah, you get an idea here. This is like Twitter. I was going through Twitter, and it was really a lot of slaughtering going on. But if you slaughter the fans and disrespect people like that, you're going to get it back, aren't you? You would have expected that. But he's leaving, so maybe he doesn't care.
One more for you, Monday, I think, that you should do.
Septar says Matt came here as a World Cup, Euro, Champions League, and Premier League winner. Is actually a great player. Hasn't played in his best years. Has always trained and has always been respectful, classy, unlike Jesse. I totally agree with that. Septar, you're making some good statements. Do you agree with that? Matt is classy, kept his mouth shut, doesn't really throw his toys out the pram, and he deserves to play. I mean, we saw his performance yesterday. He was really good.
And the other thing is, he did stay with the fans until apparently midnight yesterday, signing, taking pictures, etc.
Yeah. So what do you feel, guys? Overall, we're just going to finish on this one now. What do you think about that with Lingard? I mean, do you think if you met him, would you say, thanks for the FA Cup goal you scored for us that time, or I don't know, thanks for making the England squad and representing me? I don't know. Or thanks for that stupid song. What would you say?
He's done his job. He's done his job. I'm not gonna sit here and disrespect him. He brought me some joy as a Man United player, but everybody's time is up. Accept that your time is up. Move on gracefully. I just didn't understand why that statement came out. I'm just any Man United player. It'd be an honor for me to shake their hand. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be looking to punch nobody in their face, to be cussing nobody. They do what I would love to do. You know what I mean? So no. That would never be coming out of my mouth. He's a bitch, but I would never tell him.
£5, please, Mr. B.
No.
Yeah. It's adding up now, isn't it? We're already at about 20 quid. Rebel, I'm going to let you finish off on this. I just want to ask you, because I know a lot of fans on Twitter, you type a lot of rubbish and we talk a lot of trash, maybe on podcasts and that kind of thing. But if I saw him to his face and met him, I would be like, oh, wow, well done in your career. Like what the brother did say, you've served Man United really well. You're a decent player, not mediocre, as Sektar said. But, I wouldn't give him any grief to his face. But would you really, after this, would you assess this? Does this ruin his whole Man United legacy if he had one? Well,
just briefly look at his performances in the Manchester United shirt over the years. There was that really good season that he had, the 17-18 season, where I remember he went through a patch of form where he was getting goal after goal after goal for us. But 2015-2016 season, 4 goals scored, 1 assist. 16-17 season, 1 goal scored, 3 assists. 17-18 season, 8 goals scored, 6 assists. This is Premier League only, by the way. 18-19 season, 4 goals scored, 3 goals assist. 19-20 season, 1 goal scored, 0 assists. And last season, even though he apparently went absolutely bananas at West Ham, he only contributed 9 goals scored, 5 assists throughout the entire season. I wouldn't say that it's ruined his career at Manchester United, because at the end of the day, he's still a Manchester-born person. He came up through the academy. He came up with the likes of Rashford and a few of the other young players. And unfortunately for him, it didn't work out. For whatever reason, there was miscommunications from the board and the directors that misled the direction in which he was going to go when he came back this season. But look, the best of luck to him on his endeavours. And I don't think we, as Man United fans, can do anything else other than say thank you.
All right, we're going to end this now. Lingardgate is over. His career at Man United is over. I'm going to say a salute, as I said to Matic and Mata, salute for the good stuff he done on the pitch. The other stuff, the moonwalking was quite funny. This so-called song I'm going to go and Google about after the show. I didn't know about that, but I'm sure that's going to be quite funny as well. And apparently he was good in the change room. He was a good laugh and people liked to have him around, that kind of thing. But he played in the era where we didn't really win any majors. Unless, I don't know whether he was in the 2013 squad. Maybe he's at Birmingham or somewhere else on loan. I'm not sure. But no, Lingard, let's close the gate and on Lingard and say goodbye. And he's off to pastures new. And hopefully he can have a better career elsewhere. Anyway, just to wind up, just a couple more things in the comments now. They're saying, hi, if they met him, Rushmano would say, hi, Lingard, bye, Lingard. You know,
short and sweet.
Yeah. Or, you know, when he goes a handshake, you go, no. One of them. Matthew Bassett would say, Lingard can learn a thing or two from, I got this wrong yesterday, I really butchered this. It's one, as in one matter. I'm really bad at pronouncing it. Yeah, one matter. UK Strains, how you doing, man? He says, I'd like to say to Jesse Lingard's face, all the best for the future. And then he's got is that spam? Give him a spam?
I don't know. I don't know if that means slap. I don't know. I don't work out if there's any movement thingies on it. Oh,
Keep
God.
Manchester United's name out of your effing mouth.
So yeah, see, slap, yeah.
Bath Time saying, I don't think it's the United way to cast someone off after 20 years in this way. Had his ups and downs, but he was a local lad and he did his best and was treated badly at the end. Okay, so get some balance. I like Bath Time. He always creates a good argument.
But he's the only one. You say balance, but he's the only one.
Yeah, but he's explaining his reasons. I mean, that's his opinion.
I understand. No, I understand, but he's the only one. So you're saying it's balance? True. No, it's everybody in the chat against Bath Time. Sorry, Bath Time.
With a name like Bath Time, you tell he's very, very relaxed. I mean, that's what you do in the bath. You know, you cut your toenails and just, you know, scrub parts and do all that. And he's not emotional about it. He's, you know, thinking logically about it. So I rate Bath Time for that.
He's got his yellow duckies too.
Yeah. What's the bubble bath? Matey bubble bath. Yeah. This is from Emma. Hi Emma, how you doing? Emma K. I'm waiting for Sue to come in so I can do that. But anyway, Emma K is saying Bath Time, replying to Bath Time. Bath Time, this is for you, Bath Time, in Emma's voice. He's been with us for 20 years in the worst times and was promised playing time. So he didn't push for a move. He deserved to be on the pitch one last time. That's from Emma.
That sounds like more like Queen Elizabeth.
Jesus Christ, somebody. Oh my
Lord. All right. Shall we close the gate? Shall we close the gate on Lingard? That's gone. All right, just on some better news.
One thing for you. You asked about Lingard's Premier League debut. It was 14-15, 23 minutes, 1 appearance. Just to wrap
no major trophies for Lingard.
Nope, 0.
You don't talk, yeah, okay. So no European Champions Leagues and no premierships for Lingard then. All right, guys, got some good news. David Brooks used to play for Sheffield United, left-footed, right winger, inside forward guy, moved to Bournemouth. Unfortunately, he's a young guy as well. He was really highly touted. Even Man United were interested in him a few years ago. Unfortunately, he had cancer, and I'm pleased to announce he's cancer-free. So, especially to TalkMU, check out TalkMU's channel as well. He does a fight against cancer, football versus cancer, that kind of thing. I'm sure we've all been devastated by people, family members who've had cancer. So, yeah, that's really good news, and all the best, and wish you happiness and good health for the future, David Brooks. I hope you can get your career back on track.
I actually do have some comments from him, just to share them with the people.
Yes, please do. Yeah.
It's been a few months since my last update, and in the time I've been thankfully completed my cancer treatment. I would like to say a huge thank you to all the incredible medical staff for their amazing work and support throughout the process. Last week, I met with my specialist, having reviewed my final test results. I am delighted to say the treatment was successful, and now say I have been given the all clear and I'm cancer-free. These words feel incredible to say, and I am so thankful for all your messages and good wishes. These really helped me through tough times. I'm so excited to start the journey back to full fitness and continue my football career. The lads at Bournemouth have been excellent this season so far, and I'm looking forward to being back at the Vitality to cheer them on as we head into the most important fixtures of the season. I'm determined to work my hardest over the months ahead and can't wait to be back out there and playing in front of you on the pitch in the not too distant future. Thank you very much, and best wishes, David. And they have a big game against Nottingham Forest coming up, I believe.
That's lovely. That is lovely. And good luck to Bournemouth. Yeah.
Good to have guys, good news, man. It's nice having good news. I like good news.
Mr. B, because you're more aggressive than me, can you ask them to press the like button, please?
in your Mr. T voice, if you don't mind.
Guys, you know what we say every week. I know it sounds random, but without your help, without you flicking the beans, you know, we do need that. So yeah, just hit that subscribe button, guys. Hit that subscribe button, guys.
Brilliant. All right, so part 2 of the show. We've got through half of it, and we asked people to press the like button. We've talked about David Brooks. We had our intro. Go back, and if you missed the intro, we had a nice chat, and we've done a Jesse Lingardgate, and we're moving on now. So obviously, new manager, changing times at Manchester United right now, isn't it? Ralph's come in as a temporary manager and clearing out all the garbage, and we got Erik ten Hag, one of the most sought after managers coming in. And obviously, Eric's not just going to come in first day of training and assess the squad. I'm sure there's been communications between Eric and whoever's at the club, maybe Ralph or whoever, to find out who's in, who's out. So what we've heard today is we're expecting to see a lot of players leave Old Trafford. We know that already. Some people are running out their contracts. We talked about Mata, for example, Matic, Jesse Lingard, Pogba, quite possibly. And we've had 5 years without a trophy, and it's 2013 since we last won a major trophy as well. So Eric has not had any training sessions with the squad, but we know there's been communications ongoing for a number of months now. That's clear. And then the Telegraph, a really credible newspaper, they've said that Ten Hag will try to revitalise 3 players. Now, one would be Harry Maguire, and they want to investigate. I want to talk about this very briefly because you know me and Harry Maguire. They want to investigate why Harry Maguire plays so well for England and why his form has just dipped at Manchester United. Secondly, we wanted to talk about Rashford because he thinks maybe Rashford could be given a chance to sort of show that he's got a higher ceiling than we've shown at the moment because it seems to have plateaued. So it'd be Maguire, Rashford, and finally our right back, Bissaka. We spent a lot of money on him, and first couple of years, everyone was like okay about him. But in the last season, or this season, current season, he's sort of gone to pot. And his reputation's really gone downhill. Maybe because they feel he can't go forward, or for a number of reasons. But I want you guys to let me know what that is. So first of all, quickly on Maguire, they want to investigate why his England form is better than Manchester United form. I'll start with you, Rebel.
Well, I'd imagine the one thing I do pick up with the English team now, I only watch them from time to time when they're on the box. Obviously, being Irish, I wouldn't catch every game that they're involved in, but I do notice that there seems to be an increased level of communication in the England squad. They do seem to be getting in each other's ears a lot more. And Pickford, despite his limitations, is a very vocal goalkeeper. I would think in comparison to David De Gea, and I think that's a big factor in the way that the line is organised, because if you're in each other's ears, you're moving up together, you're covering the space, you're giving a shout. If somebody's coming behind Mr. B and I shout, Mr. B, man, at your 2 o'clock or whatever, it does give an opportunity to change your position. And while you mightn't always make that important tackle, it does give you the opportunity at least to get in the space and make the shot difficult. So that's probably one area where Maguire's performance slips when it comes to Manchester United and England. The other side of it as well is we do not seem to have a settled back four. We've been yo-yoing in the wing-backs in and out all season until there was literally no option but to play the current 2 because of injury. We've had many different centre-back partnerships for Maguire. He's played with Lindelof, he's played with Jones, he's played with Varane, he's played with Bailly. And again, you want to develop that solid partnership with your centre-back partner, because if you're kind of changing horses, you're obviously going to have to adapt every time to the style that they bring. So I think that is a big factor as well, because there is consistency in who he plays with, more than likely, more often than not, with England. So those are kind of the big talking points for me initially.
It's a good one. Mr. B, do you agree with Rebel there? That consistency of players that he's playing with, and confidence maybe you get with that when you're playing with different players, or in communication you mentioned about the goalkeeper Pickford. What do you think of the factors that are making Maguire play well for England and not so well for Manchester United?
Muted there, Mr. B.
I'm trying to go back to when he was playing well for us and he had the 2 players ahead of him, so he always had protection. England play with Rice and Phillips. Again, he's been protected. The formation, Ollie tried to make us be more progressive this season. I just think the style of play maybe isn't helping him. I'm not sure he is a possession footballer. I think his style suited the way that we played to be counter-attack. So that's more along the lines that I was thinking. Yeah, we rib him, we give him grief, but surely you can't become that bad or has he always been that bad and been protected? I mean, what we saw was a whole load of individual mistakes, individual errors this season that cost a lot. With the year before, he didn't seem to make those errors.
Very good points. Before I go, I want to say hi to Sue82. She's saying, good, he's not quite captain, might help him to Maguire, can improve a bit, see him as good backup if he's happy with that. Okay, it's good comment there. Here we go. This is another good comment here by Matthew Bassett. He's saying England play to Harry's strengths as a player, play very deep, just like you were saying, Mr. B, and in a back three counter-attacking football. Rush Marno's saying if Maguire drops the captain's armband at United, that might help him as well. So
I mean, can I ask? I've heard this a lot. How would somebody please explain to me how that would make him turn quicker? How it would make him, check people's runs? How it would make him look? I don't understand how it's going to make him play any different. It's not going to make him get any faster. So
you mean the armband?
Yeah, the armband. So is it a pressure thing in regards to that? He's more watching other people's game and trying to G them up and taking it off his. I don't understand that whole.
I think it's really important. I think sometime we should do this because I've heard Bath Time talk about this as well. We need to identify what are the characteristics of being a good captain. What do you need? What does that mean? What's the definition of being a good captain in football? And you'd be really surprised how deep that can go. And what it means to a club and how important that is, and why people designated. Why there's a designated captain. Why can't everyone be a captain on the pitch? But there's always got to be one, in the dressing room, kind of thing. So I think if we look deeper into that, we might find out what that's all about and why Harry Maguire might be failing.
Quickly, can I come in on that? Actually, there's 2 points I want to make. Firstly, when you think of a captain, for me with Manchester United, I think of Roy Keane. He himself has said, I was not the most technically gifted of players. He'd done a job and he'd done it well. But what you always noticed was when morale was flagging, you always could count on Roy Keane to put in a big tackle or something to G up the team and get them going again. And he was always in the ears of the other players. So for me, the big part of the captain is on-field communication. If you do not have that, you do not have the capacity to be a captain. And the second one actually is a comment from Bath Time. And this is again in reference to Harry Maguire. The defence in the midfield line is far better organised and structured at England than at United, with more workers on the wings, and any defender would look better for England than Manchester United. And I was actually just going to mention on the follow-up to Mr. B's point, yes, Southgate is a more defensive coach. He sets up his team more defensive. So if you're looking at what your job is, as Harry Maguire does for England, if he is playing in a back three, he's got two other people watching an area of space. So the line that he is responsible for is probably diminished in comparison to maybe to use an example that you would say, Amundi, when a wing back that we have is caught out of position, or when one of our midfielders is caught too far forward and not getting back, there's more space and more holes for where Harry Maguire could get exploited.
Yeah, a lot of talk in the comments about Harry Maguire, some really good ones. I just want to say, I think we have, like England, I'm just going to give you some. So Euro 2020, they played Czech Republic, Scotland, and Croatia. Croatia aren't the four seeds to beat. Then Germany, good win. Ukraine, Denmark, and then lost to Italy. Is that great? And in the World Cup 2018, they played Belgium, the group, with Tunisia and Panama. And then it's like playing FA Cup fourth round or something against conference teams. I know I'm exaggerating a bit, but yeah. And then they played Colombia, Sweden, and lost to Croatia. So, and obviously, you know what it's like in the group stages. They're playing like San Marino and teams like that. So there's a number of factors why he plays better for England, I'm sure. And I'm just going to, we're going to move on. Sorry, in the comments, we're going to go on from Harry Maguire here, but I think we've had a good conversation about that. Next one is Rashford. Very quickly, I just want to word in a word because we need to move on. Can Ten Hag get something out of Rashford?
Yes.
I'm saying yes.
100%, I would agree. I think he does possess the abilities and attributes to play in the inside forward role. It's just a matter of whether Ten Hag can get his head right.
Thank you. And finally, with the third man, the last amigo that we're discussing is Bissaka. Can we change his game? I mean, can he work for? Would you keep him? Is Ten Hag looking at him and saying someone he could work with? What do you think, Mr. B? In a word.
All right, can I?
Oh, so go on, explain.
I'm going to make it. All right.
Yeah.
With Wan-Bissaka, again, I think it's a style of play. The problem I have is the other right back we have is Dalot. His contract is up in June. His contract is up in 2023, which means Ten Hag either needs to decide that he wants to keep him, or that's another player walking out of our club on a free. This is the part that I'm worried about. Is it going to be a football decision, or is it going to be a more of a financial decision to see whether Wan-Bissaka goes or stays? They're talking about him going out on loan, which is fine. But then we spent £50 million on a player, and then we're going to loan him to the club that we bought him from, and we're still going to be paying some of his wages. Come on, man, that's so typical Man United.
Rebel. Do you agree with Bath time? Not Bath time. I mean, Mr. B. And if so, do you think we just cut our losses and just let him go, even if we have to pay his wages?
I'll be honest with you. Similar to a lot of people in the comments and Mr. B, it's a no for me when it comes to Wan-Bissaka. I think when you think of the Ten Hag system, he's going to need a player that's more progressive and that can deliver the type of passing that seems to be beyond Wan-Bissaka. And I honestly don't believe that he would have the ability to improve his game at this juncture. He's been at Man United now long enough that we've probably seen his ceiling in regards to his progressive play. Dalot does have an opportunity to do what is needed, and probably another right back would have to come in and fight it out with Dalot for that.
Just to wind up on these three players then, from the comments, it's a no for Wan-Bissaka's from Bath time. Wan-Bissaka on loan, possibly, with big eyes, says Rushmano. Paddy saying Rashford has lost the eye of the tiger. Keane is right. Okay, yep. Bath time saying he can't work in the Ten Hag system. Dalot could possibly. And if you want to know about the Ten Hag system, Bath time's done a really good review of Ten Hag and how we could benefit us at Manchester United. Check it out. UK Trade Strange is saying we need 6 players. We're going to come on to that. Wan-Bissaka doesn't fit, says Matthew. I reckon we need to loan him to Palace and try to stop the repayments to them. So Bill Baggio in the house. How you doing, Bill Baggio, man? Always good to see you. He said Wan-Bissaka's too quiet, too laid back. He's a weird player. Paddy again saying Wan-Bissaka now. We need better in that position. And Pat is saying protected by Kante and mothered by Wes Morgan. He's talking about Danny Simpson, maybe, I don't know.
No, he's talking about Maguire at Leicester.
Oh, right, okay. And Emma's saying Dalot's crossing is abysmal. That's true. I don't know how many assists he's had from that, but I think it's one of those things where he can be worked on. Okay, so I'll get some balance in here. All right, okay. That's enough on that. So let's move on because we talked about those 3 players. So next thing is, before we do, we've got 16 in the house. Can you all press the like button, please? I'm gonna say it in my Mr. T voice, like Mr. B. Hey guys, press the like button now, or else, you know. So yeah, you know what the next thing is? Like Ten Hag's now saying, according to the Telegraph report, I'm sure a lot of you have read it, and I just want to say hi to Alexandro all the way from Puerto Rico. But he's saying, and I know we've done our homework, but you're going to hear from us, and I want to hear from you guys in the comments as well. He's saying there's 8 core players that he feels that at the club right now who would probably stay. And he's identified them. You remember a few weeks ago, they were talking about a Zoom call and things. So things are going on behind the scenes. Some players must know what's going on. And some players who know they're not going to be there are probably getting their brother to do statements to say, you know, whatever. Who knows? But anyway, 8 players, they're saying, that could come in, that Ten Hag has identified as being the core stability going forward in the club. So I want you guys to name or just try to speculate who these 8 players might be. You know, because it's not as easy as we first made out. So I'm going to you, Mr. B, because you look at your notes and you've been, you know, going over this all day. I know you have. Because it's not easy. It's not easy. And the people in the comments as well. 8 players currently that Ten Hag feels he can work with. Before we do, I'm just going to say this. The 8 players that he's going to work with, what's important about them? They need to have maybe leadership skills. They need to have longevity. Someone who's going to be there for a while. they need to have that learning curve as well, you know, to sort of learn, adapt to a new system possibly. So that needs good IQ, good technique as well. So these are the factors that you need to be one of the eights, you know. So Mr. B, over to you. 8 players, and people in the comments, throw out some names, guys, who you think are these 8 players that the Telegraph is speculating with, saying that Ten Hag wants to keep at the club.
Okay, well, I'll tell you, I know De Gea, I know it's going to burn a lot of you guys, but Rangnick's made it perfectly clear that they will be looking for positions, but goalie's not one of them. He's already explained that at his age, yeah, he does have a weak left foot, and there's some things, but he's not going to be able to learn and pick up. But that's stuff that he's willing to accept. So I'm saying De Gea. I'm 100% saying Varane. I'm saying Bruno, and I'm saying Sancho. Ronaldo, I think Ronaldo could work with Ten Hag. I really, really do. If they can come to that, because we have to be buying a striker. We have to be buying a striker. So if he's willing to share that role, which is going to help him in the long run because he's got the World Cup coming up. So drop it like that. You know, he's not an idiot. I understand that. I got one for you. Donny van der Beek.
That's 6. 2 more.
See, and I can't really think. Yeah, I'm struggling. I'm really, really struggling. I don't feel. Do you think that if you're a sub?
No, don't ask the question. Ask the question. We're asking you, Mr. B. You want your expertise. 2 more players.
I can't get any more because I'm looking at Dalot, not good enough. Maguire, no. Rashford, nope. I don't think he's done it. That's it. I've got 6.
So you got 6 sure shots. Someone else in the comments said 6 earlier as well. It's not that easy, is it?
Oh, see, Paddy. So what have we got?
Okay. For my one, I haven't included Lingardgate based on the fact that he's just coming through the squad. So I think he's not going to, when he says core, I'm thinking experienced players that have established themselves in first team football. So that's what the angle I'm after taking on it. And I think obviously our youth team will start coming through in addition to that. But number 1, David De Gea, I think he's going to stick with the experience of De Gea in goal. That would probably mean that Henderson walks because I don't think he's going to do a second season under the bench that he's suffered this year. Dalot is my second one. I think he's going to win the battle of right back. He probably will have some competition coming in, but I do believe that he will find a use for Dalot in the squad. Varane, again, I think our best defender, if we can keep him fit. And I think his wealth of experience alone will be something that Ten Hag will want to keep around the pitch. My next 2 are McFred, because again, I think our squad is only going to be as strong as what we can bring off the bench. And I think there is a role for both those players in our squad. My 6th one then is Bruno, because I think, again, Ten Hag will adapt his game in order to actually give us more of what we would like to see from him. Sancho then is my other one. I think the inside forward role, he is going to do absolute bits. And interestingly, Mr. B did mention 2 strikers. We've had rumours that that CR7 has told Rangnick that I want to play more wide from now on. So in the inside role, maybe that, obviously CR7 is going to be critical that we keep him, but we might not be seeing him in the central striker role. So there's my 7.
7? We wanted 8.
I'm sorry, 8. that was 8, but yeah, sorry, my apologies. I've been thinking of it.
So Mr. B's got 2 to fill in, but before we do that, just go through these. We've got Ronaldo, Langa, Rashford, McTominay, Fred, Donny, Dalot, and Shaw from Bath Time. From Bill saying Dave, Dalot, that's the Dalot, yeah, I think it's Dalot. Varane, Bruno, Dave. Fred, Donny.
That's De Gea.
Oh, sorry, De Gea then. Sorry, forgive me. De Gea, Varane, Bruno, Fred, Donny, Rashford, Sancho, and Ronaldo. Ramano saying Shaw, Bruno, Ronaldo, De Gea, Fred, Maguire, Varane, and Sancho.
Just coming
Paddy saying no, not sure. He's are you not sure? He's saying not sure. Septar saying probably Bruno, Sancho, Fred, Varane, Elanga, De Gea, Ronaldo, and Donny. A few people saying Donny's nice. He might get that love. Bath Time saying I think Ten Hag will think he can improve Shaw, Dalot, and Rashford. Paddy saying Ten Hag has to bring in quality in those areas. UK Strains is saying De Gea, Scott McTominay, Fred, Cristiano, Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire, Elanga, Varane. Oh, this is about 10, 12 players. Sancho, Bruno Fernandes. Unless there's someone called Sancho Bruno Fernandes. Shawberto, he likes that name. Vincent saying, I think Daniel will be back. He'll have a season under... he was sold the following season. I think Daniel will be back. He'll have a season under Ten Hag.
He means Donny.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Thank you, Rebel. And Barthel's saying he did want Henderson on loan at Ajax, but it's clear De Gea has some sort of instruction in the last few games about being further forward. And to his credit, he's done that. Okay, good observation there. Anyone else with any more players here? Alexandra says Bruno, Varane, Lindelof, Telles. That's an interesting one, guys. De Gea, Sancho, Fred, and Ronaldo. They're talking about the Liverpool game. So yeah, there you go. Under the microscope. It's interesting. There's not everyone's sort of dead cert. There's a few dead certs there, isn't there? Like Ronaldo and Varane. But beyond that, it's no one's sure. It's
De Gea. Everybody said De Gea. Come on Monday. Don't
not me. I didn't put De Gea. Do you want to see do you want to read my list out?
No, I know you've got Mata.
I've got 8, not 6, Mr. B.
Okay, so what you got?
I've got Lindelof, Bruno, Sancho, Ronaldo, Shaw, Varane, Pogba, and Donny. That's my 8.
Pogba?
Yeah.
Explain.
No, but just think if I'm Ten Hag and you got unlimited funds, you're not working with budget and everything else, you say, if Pogba signs a contract, I can work with him. Quite possibly. That's my thinking on it. I think Pogba's still a talented player. I don't care about his reputation or anything like that. If I'm coming to a club and there's a question mark that he might be staying, I would, Mr. B, please.
In the comments, please let us know your thoughts on Paul Pogba. Do you think he should sign a new contract? And can Ten Hag get something out of him and get him playing a consistent basis? Something that we have yet to do at Manchester United, and that's get Paul Pogba.
That's what coach is for. And you've got one of the most talented players in the world, football.
OMONDI!
Hold on.
Please.
He is talented. I will agree on that.
Okay. I know you've done this to wind me up on the hour mark.
I haven't. I'm saying I think he would be on his list. He's still at the club. He hasn't signed a new contract elsewhere that, as we know of, yet. Maybe they're in discussion. Who knows what's going on? Maybe he feels he can work with him. Who knows?
Where's he going to play him? Right back.
If he can get the best out of Tadic and bring back Danny Blind at that sort of age and getting them into knockout rounds of Champions League and win their leagues and all that kind of thing, I think he can work as a coach. This is what we're talking about, coaching. Mr. B, you're a coach of your football club.
Listen,
so
I'm telling you,
get the best out players.
If a player tells me he wants to leave, he can fuck off.
All right.
Right?
Anyway,
please.
Okay, there you go. That's 25 quid now, isn't it? Bill Badger don't agree with me. Patrick don't agree with me. Halftime saying, I'm with OMONDI. I think Pogba is going to sign a contract. Matt Paddy saying no. Clear out the deadwoods. Saying here, Paddy. Pogba's going in the summer, says Matthew. It's quite possible. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm just saying. Rushmire saying, you what, Pogba? You what? Remember that I Found Loving tune? Who's that big fat DJ? You what? I Found Loving. Big tune. Lord. Go check it out. Cosmo says, I'm tired of Pogba. Let him go, even if he's the best. Fair enough. He's saying he's good. Oh, no, I don't want to read this one. But Barthelme thinks Pogba will be a right back. And Strange is saying, sorry, Pogba is not staying at Mondi. Fair enough. He's not even Deadwood. He's just dead, says. And finally, Vincent saying, answer to this now. To answer to that is how you know it's not worth the money. Let some of you fool pay him silly money. Bye Pogba. Plus I'm 60 there for paying good money to watch him and his garbage every week for United. Fair enough. Sorry, I struggled with that reading that one out. Guys, just to summarize, we're coming up to an hour. We're going to close up now. So we talked about a couple of topics here. Once again, Mr. Brooks, David Brooks, health and fitness to you, man. We talked about our guy at the beginning. That was Lingardgate. We obviously, once we've got some great views from the comments as well, sometimes our head can be turned. We can change our minds. So I've read it. I don't know. I'm still up in the air about Lingard. I think we need a few more days to assess that. What do you guys think? And then finally, guys, what do you think about the 8 and the 3? Summarize, and we're going to close the show.
Well, for me, I think there's going to have to be a core. That goes without saying. Whether it's 6, whether it's 8, whether it's 12, that makeup for me is immaterial. He's going to have to retain a portion of the squad and build from that. Just briefly, actually, because it's flashed in here, Rushmano coming in with that very grateful super chat of £10. Pogba talks about winning trophies, so let's see if he wants titles or cash. United offers the best offer on the table, so will he take the money or will he go to win some trophies?
Thank you, Rushmano, for the money as well. There you go, Mr. B. That's deducted some of your swear jar fines for this. Yeah, appreciate that, Rushmano.
And
Mr. B, final comments. Do you have anything you want to add about the 3 topics we discussed today?
No, because I came on the show in that hole and I've cost myself quite a bit today. So I'll keep my mouth shut. I'll say thank you for listening, guys, and hitting that subscribe button up.
Can I just briefly hit a few headlines? We're not discussing them tonight, but I would like to hear the comments of our viewers after the show. Adiemi, who was the Dortmund replacement that was identified for the departing Haaland, had snubbed Manchester United. It is believed that we have offered Dembele an improved pre-contract offer today, roughly 189,000 per week. We have also believed to have sounded out Nunes from Benfica at a cost of 80 million euros. And the final bit of gossip today is that there could be a trio of Ajax players following Ten Hag to Old Trafford at a cost of £85.5 million. Timber, Hallier and Anthony.
Interesting stuff. I think we can yam on that over breakfast and another show tomorrow, which will be at 8:30. Got Jay Motti coming on quite possibly with us. So join us tomorrow. I want to thank Mr. B and Rebel, and obviously, most of all, to the people in the comments for liking. Make sure you like, guys, and subscribing and sharing. And don't forget to have a little conversation with ourselves and Bill Baggio, because Bill will definitely be there. Matthew Bassett will be there in the comments as well after the show. And let's discuss everything we've talked about on the show today. So, in the words of our boss man, who's not here with us today, he's revising. That would be Solo. How you doing? From us all, it's good evening. Evening. How do you say it? Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. And we're signing out. And obviously, Solo's going to be back tomorrow night. So thank you, guys. God bless, and see you later.